Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma is so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti, and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school, no easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running, 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada, and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who without Mrs. B might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the...
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Wonderful, wonderful people out there. Amazing, awesome, everything I can think of in an adjective. Welcome to the Diamond Factor Experience Show with yours truly, Barbara Beckley, and guests and experts. I add that because, as I always say, it takes more than one person to elevate, to get to that next level in your life, to help you strive in what you're doing, all that good stuff. So I always say, always remember the other individuals in your life that can come into your life and help you grow. And then guess what? You do the same thing for them, right? It goes, I've been saying a lot this month, a win-win situation. You win and I win and we all win, right? Ice cream, you have ice cream, we all have ice cream. I don't know why that popped up. But I'm so glad to be here this morning on a Thursday. We're in our second week of being on for a whole week. It's a little bit changed, and you have to change a little bit here and there. But I'm just so glad that I'm able to do the week now. Now, what I got to do is a tech check just to start real quickly because I know my sound, just to be vulnerable here, has been kind of doing a little acting up, and I just want to make sure that you can hear me okay. So we're gonna go straight to that to make sure that you can. Yeah, so you can, because see, cell phones are awesome. You could, while I'm on here, I can go on the phone and say, okay, look at my show and say, oh, there's me. So we have a show today that's going to be very awesome. First, I am bringing on, and I'm going to be doing this periodically. I interview a lot of great and wonderful Queen Diamonds through I call the Diamond Factor Spotlight interviews. So I will be coming and showing some recordings of those, on Thursdays and Fridays when I don't have my other guests that come in. Because I was just thinking, I said, you need to get to know these ladies too. And usually, like I say, I do it on the platform. I have another platform, the Diamond Experience group in the Facebook group, and I usually put those interviews in that particular group. But I said, you know what? I need to bring them on the Diamond Factor Experience show and let you get to know these people. One lady, her name is Sarah Griffin, and she's going to be talking about, how she had some really low self-esteem issues and how she basically fought her way through it. And now she's this wonderful, wonderful speaker and author and coach and just everything. So I'm going to start sharing those interviews with you. And today I'll be sharing an interview with Sarah. But before I do that, I have to give you something to think about, some positive that you can take on the rest of the week, right? So this is talking about uniqueness. And I always talk about your uniqueness is so important to the world because everybody has a different gift and talent in them. Okay. And only you can reach maybe another individual that I can't reach. Or only you can have that story in you that needs to come out so somebody can say, oh my God, I'm so glad Barbara told me that story of what's going on with her or wherever or whoever, because that helped me see that I have hope and I can move forward. See, it's all about saving lives. It really is. It's all about saving people's lives when you tell you, because people don't want to feel like they're alone. There's too many people in the world right now. There's hurting going on. I was talking about we need to share this love. We need to put that love out there. And there's people that feel like they're just alone, like they're by themselves, like whatever they're going through, they can't really express themselves or open up because they feel like they're all alone. So it's so important to bring your uniqueness out because you can be reaching somebody and saying, wow, thank you so much for coming in my life. So I'm going to read this. Utilize all the unique skills and talents you have been blessed with. You will make the most of your talents when you are not afraid to show them to the world. Many people hesitate before doing this because they have been taught it is a form of boastfulness. Pride. Do not deprive the world of something desperately needs you and your talents. The world needs you and your talents. There is a great deal of satisfaction to be had when you use the skills you have been blessed with to the fulfillment extent of your ability. Today, allow yourself to receive the recognition you so greatly deserve. So show your talents, show your uniqueness. It is so important. And in that said, I am going to start the show. Like I haven't started the show already, right? I'm always doing. I can't. I'm telling you, drums are coming. I told you in July. Yep, July. I'm taking my drum instructor training, as they say. I'm trying to get training out. So we're gonna go right into, like I said, an interview that I do with the ladies, with the Diamond Queens that I call. Her name is Sarah Griffin, and like I said, she dealt with a lot of personal self-esteem issues when she was growing up, and she became, now she's this wonderful, wonderful lady that has been helping others. Like I said, she's a coach, she's a speaker, she's an author, and I want to get to you to know her. So I'm going to bring this particular interview, and then after that, we're going to have Laura Armstrong. She's going to be doing her segment of leadership with Laura. So let me just set this up for you. I just love it. Don't you love when technology just does so well? Uh, so while this is setting up, I just want everybody to know that if you are interested in being part of the Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley, just to come on to make sure that people get to know you, get to know your business, or even if you have a special. I always tell people you can always come on too if you have that special organization like a nonprofit that you really want to push and say, hey, I want you to believe in this. I want you to know about this particular, the particular group, because it's all about. I always say this show is all about awareness. It's all about information, giving you good information, and it's all about motivation. So if you have, a certain, um, excuse me, a certain way that you want to come on the show and, really express what you do, come on the show. Let's talk. Let's have a talk. I'm here to help. Like I said, my mission is to make sure, I really work with a lot of women, but for this particular show, I have men on the show. I mean, I have experts. I got Barry, I got Marty. So on this show, I bring men and women together so they can basically have a platform for so they can, so they can be visible, so you can get to know these wonderful people. So let's see. I'm still having some issues. Hopefully you can hear me because it looks like now I'm having internet issues. So let's see here. Give me 1 second. We're going to. This is rolling here. Oh, it's really stuck now. Okay. It looks like we're not responding. So I want to see here. Forgive me. Everything is stuck. I don't even know if you can hear me anymore. You know what? This is live. Like they say, sometimes when things are live, this is what happens. So I want to, and I can't even, I'm sorry, everybody. I can't even move at all on the screen. I see myself on the phone. So but I want to go back to talking about your uniqueness. Now, I just did a thing about uniqueness, being unique in you, and you have to make sure again that you bring that out. I know when I was younger, and a lot of people might know my story, is that when I was the age of 6, 7-ish, I was bullied. I mean, I was bullied badly. People used to call me, they used to say, Barbara, you're ugly, you're fat, I don't even know why you go to school, you're not smart, you're not intelligent. And I mean, they were cruel. The children were really cruel when it came to certain things. I mean, especially me. So I said, I don't understand why that I'm so just why they do that. So I was like, okay, well, um, I think I have something in me. And at that point, I thought it was something bad because they were talking about me. But I'll never know the angels and the people around you that inspire you, that's going to be there to have your back. And there was a particular teacher at that time that seen my uniqueness in a special way. And she would come to me every day and she would say, Barbara, I just want to let you know you are awesome. You're just a diamond in the rough. Don't let the children, demote you into everything. And I was like, oh, that's so your visibility and shine like a diamond to the world. Today, we have another wonderful, awesome spotlight interview, and I call all the ladies Queen Diamonds. So, Sarah, I'm just going to let you know before I read your bio, you are a Queen Diamond to me. And Sarah Griffith battled with low self-esteem in her younger years and suffered at the hands of an emotional, abusive husband, refusing to allow her trauma to dictate her future. She now teaches others the methods she used to rebuild her life, bringing them fulfillment and helping them to fall in love with themselves again. Welcome, Sarah, to the Diamond Factory Spotlight interview. How are you doing?
No, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad that you're here and you get to share, who you are, and just, we're just going to fall in love with you. I know we are. So let's just get right into it. So it was mentioned in a statement on your podcast once where it said the relationships with yourself is the foundation for your whole life. Can you give more details on that statement?
Oh, I'm so glad you've gone to that statement because it is so true, so important, and so unoverlooked. So when you think about it, every thought that we have leads to an action which leads to a result. And even that is profound for some people, that every result you get, every situation you're in is as a result of action that you took, which relates back to a thought that you had. So if you are showing up in the world as feeling as if you have no value, no worth, you have no self-confidence, you're very uncertain, unsure, you're trying to please people, worried about being abandoned, always thinking that you need to keep everyone else happy, that is going to lead to certain thoughts, actions, and results. Whereas if you show up in the world coming from a place of understanding your value, your worth, that you deserve to be heard, that you are important, that your hopes and dreams have value, and you show up with self-confidence and high self-esteem and self-belief, the thoughts that follow, and therefore the actions and the results, are completely different. Your relationship with yourself, it does not just lay the foundation, set the bar for your relationships, although it definitely does that. It's the foundation of absolutely everything. Everything that you believe you can do, that you can have, that you deserve, that you will allow. Your values come from there. The boundaries you set come from there. If only everyone could understand that you need to put you at the center of your universe and have an amazing relationship with yourself, and everything else will follow.
Wow. Good wisdom, good golden nuggets. Yes, it's so true, because a lot of times, when people don't love themselves or cherish themselves, that's when I think a lot of other things can come into play. Do you agree with that? That could be a negative in your life.
Absolutely, because when you don't love and see, another person can only love and cherish you to the degree that you love and cherish yourself.
That's the point.
Because of what you allow. So when you love and cherish yourself, your values and what you will allow and your boundaries are very different to when you don't. And this is the difference between being in a loving and supportive and whole and complete relationship, as opposed to one that is abusive, where you are just there for what the other person requires, and they continuously take from you without any consideration for you, and you allow it because you kind of think it's all you deserve, it's what you're worth, that you are there to please other people. So it leads to this allowance of abusive relationships. And because when you have a great relationship with yourself, believe me, you do not allow that. You just don't. You operate in a completely different way. Yes.
So Sarah, just let me ask you before I move on. Now, if you have, how would you like tell or explain to a person that doesn't have that, still struggling with that loving themselves, and they're, maybe dealing with, people in their lives not treating them right? Where would you start off to tell them what to do?
Okay, well, I'm a very specialized hypnotherapist. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I specialize in trauma and abuse. And where I start with is, what does my client believe about themselves? So this is exactly what you're talking about. What is it that you believe about yourself? And invariably, people are going to say, well, I don't think I'm important. I don't think my opinions matter. My life doesn't seem to be important. I don't trust myself. I don't like myself. And they'll go through this whole list of things. So what does my client believe that doesn't serve them? Where does that come from? What was it in your past? What happened to you? You weren't born this way. You were born knowing that you were totally lovable and that you were enough. And the first thing you did when you were born was to reach out for connection, because you knew that that was your right. You knew that you were adorable and that people wanted to connect with you. So everything that has taken that away is what has happened to you. It's what you've experienced, what you've seen, what you've been told. So it's what do you believe? Why do you believe that? So we'll dig into the past and look at what happened. And then it's, what do we need to believe instead? And the really important thing, the reason I use hypnotherapy, is because these beliefs that people have are deeply seated in the subconscious from childhood. They're laid down in childhood and they're running the adult life. And the only way to really understand them and to rapidly undo them, because when we understand them and we work with the subconscious, we can change things very, very quickly. So we understand and we change. We tell people a different story. They're able to see what was done to them, what the beliefs that they took on, the stories that they created. And my job is to change those. It's like, I refer to it, it's like upgrading the software in a computer.
I like that.
That's what I
Get a
do.
reboot.
That's what I do.
That's
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I just love, that because people need that. And I'm glad that you do that for people, because there's a lot of people hurting out there that don't really love themselves, or, they have this like wall or mask.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't realize, like you said, Sarah, that things are so deep within them that they don't realize that why it caused what's going on with them. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also you have to understand that for people, often their adult lives, they're just repeating patterns that they experienced, that they learned as children. So until they actually stop and think what's happening to them is so normal, is just an extension of the life that they've always known, that it's not until they actually stop or until it starts to affect them that they think, why is someone talking to me in that tone? Why is someone yelling and swearing at me? Why am I always putting my needs on the back burner? Why am I always made to feel wrong and guilty and irrelevant? And this is such a part of their lives that they don't even stop and realize that this is abuse and that something else is possible.
Wow.
So that's a big step as well. It's that gradual realization that something else is possible. And that's when people start to look back and go, well, I've had this all my life. Oh, hang on, I was abused. I was emotionally, physically, sexually, whatever, abused. And I deserve more.
Mm.
Yeah.
That awareness and that realization, like you just said, Sarah, really
Yes.
is a huge thing. Because if they don't,
huge.
they start asking those questions like you just stated, which I'm glad you brought some of that out, because hopefully that helps the listeners and the audience. Because when you start asking those questions, it's like, oh, this is like, well, wait a minute, something's wrong with this picture. You know how you have a picture of certain things,
Yes.
and you ask those questions, you're like, why are they saying this? Why are they yelling at me? Why am I taking it?
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. This whole picture of why am I not valuing myself? Why do I not love myself? Because everyone is lovable. I've never worked with a client who doesn't deserve to be loved. And here's how I sum it up for people. I always say, because people come and they've got this long list of, I don't know if you can help me because I've got all this stuff wrong with me. And it goes into all their physical conditions. And by the way, all of your physical conditions are actually as a result of your unresolved emotional issues. And they clear up when we deal with the emotions. There's a direct connection between the two. And I have proved that over and over and over. So all these autoimmune, all these unexplained pains, IBS, Crohn's, fibromyalgia, arthritis, skin conditions, even some very, very serious bodily functions that go wrong, often are a result of unresolved trauma and emotional issues. And believe me, they disappear when we clear up the emotion and when I get you to fall in love with yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. I just appreciate you so much, because I know you're helping so many people out there. And like I said, the listeners that are listening now, please, and I always stress with the Queen Diamonds I have, is reach out to them. Let's see. Thank you so much. That was just a little preview, just a little snippet of an interview I did with Sarah Griffin. And I'm going to be playing that interview again, probably in tomorrow, because it is so important. She was really talking about really making sure that you understand who you are in spite of the obstacles, in spite of any kind of hurts that you went through. And it's really important to keep, telling yourself. I always call affirmations in the morning, afternoon, at night. Some people just do them in the morning. I say do them through the whole day, especially, and it depends on how you're trying to build yourself up. Because I always tell people, you can't really help anyone in the world if you don't love yourself first. If you don't put yourself first, if you don't do that self care and really, really tell yourself, I am amazing because I'm amazing for other people. I want to help people, but I had to believe in that myself through all this crap that you might have went through, the good and bad and the ugly. You have to make sure you bring that to the head and say to yourself, I am worthy. My uniqueness counts, and I have gifts and talents that are so important. So yes, I will be playing that again because, like I said, her interview was so phenomenal, and I loved. She was bringing out a lot of different aspects. And again, just to let everybody know, if you're just tuning in, this is the Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley and guests and experts. And we're about to bring a wonderful expert. She moved from Wednesday. She was doing her sessions, and now she's going to be coming on every Thursday around this time. I'm just so proud to still have this Queen Diamond, Miss Laura Armstrong. And her segment, her series, not series, but her show, now it's a show every Thursday, is Leadership with Laura. Leadership with Laura. So I want to bring her on, and I won't waste any more time because I know she has some good stuff. I always see I have my pen and paper ready. I have my pen and paper ready. Do you have yours? Do you have your pen and paper ready? So get ready. Come on, get it real quick. Real quick. Get in front of the screen and be focused. Focus. Let's learn from this wonderful expert, this wonderful queen. And let's get ready for Laura.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you all here. So as Barbara said, I've moved from Wednesdays to today, and I'm going to be coming on every week at 9:30 or so Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune in. We're going to talk about all things leadership and communication. So today I'm just going to kind of do an intro of what to expect every week. And I really feel like both leadership and communication are huge subjects, right? So there's so much content we're going to cover. So I'll just briefly go over what that looks like. And I really want you to get the most out of our time together. So I encourage you to ask questions, make comments. I want to hear from you. So it's very interactive. And I'm also going to be bringing on some guests as well in leadership and communication for my segment. So I'm excited about that too. Basically, where we're going to start next week when I'm starting to talk to you is what does leadership mean to you? And I want to get you thinking about that, right? And I'm going to go over the options of what that looks like. Maybe some of them are like, yeah, that's it. Or maybe some of them are like, no. Because if you don't think you're in leadership, you are sadly mistaken. We are all leaders of ourselves, right? And we need to own that, right? And I think a lot of the time people think, well, I just go on and I do my business and I don't really see it as leadership. Well, actually you are. People are watching you, right? And you may not know about it, but you know what? And, not in a creepy way or anything, but people are watching what you do because they want to see if you've got, some nuggets they can use, something that, they can learn from you, right? And this is where things start to shift and change for you, okay? So be thinking about that. So we're also, I had done a previous 11-week segment about communication. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you my top tips to communicate with your clients like a pro. Those are pretty awesome. Talk about the coding methodology I use, your sales velocity, dealing with difficult clients or customers, how to deal with people of different personality types that, may just kind of like be pushing your buttons and you're not sure what to do about all that kind of stuff, how to engage people for more sales in your business and get comfortable asking for the money. Like it's all about communication and leadership, right? And then, on the leadership side, we're going to do more like you're going to talk about what it means to you and where you want to be in your leadership, goal setting. We're going to talk about habits. daily success things that you need to do, getting organized. Where do you want your income to be? I'm going to go as far as doing things like how to organize your filing cabinet, because believe it or not, that's a part of your leadership. Because if your workspace or the place where you work isn't organized, then you cannot succeed. It's just not possible. You're only going to be able to do so much if you're sorting through stuff all over the place. So this may seem like more, of a non-leadership thing, but organization is actually a huge part of your leadership and your success, right? And I teach that in my gold medal leadership course. Like it's something we discuss, right? And when it comes to organization, it's not just physical organization, it's also mental organization. Like we as human beings, you don't realize how quickly you make decisions or assess, critical thinking about things. You're making these decisions without even thinking about it. So we're going to talk about how that contributes to your leadership and how you can be conscious of doing that more often to have it affect you in a positive way. All right. So like things like that. Where do you want your income to be? How to be more visible on social media. And specifically, I'm going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn, because that's more the business side of things. Facebook and other, Insta and all that rest of it is really good too. Being able to delegate as a leader, like that's a great subject, right? How to keep your tribe engaged, right? The people that you work with, are you leading leaders of leaders? And what does that look like for you? So I'm just rhyming off a lot of the things we're going to be covering so you can see how fulsome our time is going to be together. Like how to get on invitations to podcasts, right? Networking, what your outcome is. There's a whole training that I do on networking. And how to make it most effective, what to look for when you're doing your networking, and why you're in the groups that you're in, and are they serving you in the right way? Being more visible, and three things that you can do. I mean, there's lots of things, but I usually do 3 tips that you can do about that. Just give you actionable things that are going to create an impact with what you're doing now. And that in turn is going to create more income for you. And that in turn is going to allow you to help more people. So it all works together, and all of the guests on the Diamond Factor Experience show with Barbara Beckley that's why they're in it. They're in it for you, right? And I want you to keep one thing in mind when you're thinking about leadership and communication. It's never about you when you're working with people. If you make it about them, then things will naturally progress to a point where you're going to have a trusted partner relationship. They'll come to know, like, and trust you. And that means you're going to have access to all the people in their referral partner network as well, right? So it just builds on itself. So we're going to talk about referral networks, why you should do more lives. I'm just looking at my list of amazing things here. I'm thinking, wow, this is really good. Who is your accountability partner? What do you feel is no longer contributing to your business? So really taking a look, like you would clean your closet every season. So are you cleaning your business the same way? Right? So, you want to give away stuff that, doesn't fit or you don't wear anymore. Right? So like your business is the same thing. I'm going to give you some crazy tools too, that are kind of outside of the box and a bit woo-woo, but I've use them and they're pretty practical and effective for me and others that I've given them to. So, that's kind of be a fun kind of segment as well. Recognizing the leaders in your group. If you have any, maybe you're the go-to person. I don't know. So whatever your leadership looks like, that's what we need to get clear about first. So that's what we're going to discuss next week. So I'm going to keep today fairly short. We're going to talk about daily affirmations, how you manage expectations, which is a really interesting subject. Working with difficult people. How do you want to be perceived, right? What is your UVP, your unique value proposition, and what is your spark? Like Barbara talks about your passion and purpose, right? Like, so what is that for you? And does that reflect in your mission and vision, right? So I'm throwing out a whole bunch of things that we're going to be doing. Do you have a business plan? Do you have your power of 5? And, do you reevaluate your goals, regularly? Because really in today's world, everything is changing so quickly that sometimes things that were serving you, a month or two ago, maybe aren't serving you now. and you have to reassess where things are going and new opportunities come in, right? It's kind of like the toddler learning to walk, from one parent to the other parent across the room. So as they start to walk across the room, they see someone calling them over there or the dog, and they go pet the dog, and then they start, the parent calls them, they start back on the track. Well, there's a little bit of food over here. So they go over here and they snack a little bit. And then they're walking over here. Oh, they see one of their toys. But eventually they get to the other side of the room with the other parent. And that's what your business is like. There are going to be things along the road that distract you, that contribute to you, that give you opportunities, but never, ever lose the focus that you're looking for in your business, right? And you want to make sure that that's on track. That's why reassessing that and making sure that that's still the same and in alignment with your mission and vision is really going to be key. And I'm going to do a good segment on mission and vision because I feel like it's so important, and I don't think people have enough definition around what that looks like, because there are different definitions, and I'm going to give you the one that I use. How to lead effectively, okay? Keeping your team and your leaders engaged, right? Things like that, how to take your business global, how to be impactful, all the things that allow us to expand as human beings is what we're going to be covering in this show. And so leadership is not just on a business level for you. It's also on a personal level, an emotional, mental, and physical level, and even sometimes on a spiritual level, because it has to be in alignment with your purpose. Okay, so we're going to talk about all of those things. It's going to be really fulsome. I'm going to keep it just really short for today because I wanted to kind of just have an intro with you guys and connect with all of you. And I hope that if there's something that you want covered in the leadership workshop, please send me a note. I'd love to do a session on it. And like I said, we're going to have some really great guest speakers or guest interviews as well, which I'm excited about, that are going to be coming on too. So that's a big secret. I don't want to give too much of that away. So yeah, that's it for today. My name is Laura Armstrong. My company is Leadership with Laura. You can check me out at leadershipwithlaura.com or email me at laura@leadershipwithlaura.com. I am your source for all things leadership and communication, and I can't wait to see where this is going to go every single Thursday on the Diamond Factor Experience with Barbara Beckley at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will see you next week.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a Chemo Buddy for life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are Chemo Buddies for Life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
I'm hanging on your every word, the love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound, 'cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground.
Yes, 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 yes. I'm always in the back. I mean, because I be in the virtual green room watching these wonderful experts, and then the sponsors come on, and it's like, and then when they got their music going, it just makes you just want to just get up and just do what you got to do. So Laura, 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 oh my God, I can't wait. This is, I just love when you can collaborate with individuals that have the same mindset that you do, that just move, just trying to just move and just uplift yourself. And I'm loving how she talked about, because she's so right. See, we're in sync. When she said it, that was confirmation what I said maybe a month ago about everybody is a leader. You all have a leader, because you're leading. Think about it. You're leading your own life. So you're a leader in that aspect alone. We're not even talking about leadership over certain maybe organizations or projects or whatever, but we're talking about for as a leader within you. I always tell people you are building your empire in your life. And when you build your empire, what has to happen? You got to lead. You got to lead it. You got to put things together. You got to do a business plan in your head. I always tell people, do you have a personal mission statement? Do you have a personal mission statement? Everybody should have a personal mission statement. And people be like, well, usually corporations, they got a mission statement. No, this is about you. Because when you create a personal mission statement, and I don't want to, because this is another learning thing that I teach. When you create a personal mission statement, that's where you outline your values, your goals, the results that you want to see within what you're doing, and adding boundaries to what you do in your life. Because when you have a list of what you want to do in your life and how you want to go by doing it, then at that point in time, the boundaries automatically come. Because if somebody comes to you and say, well, I want to, Barbara, if you can help me do this project of maybe something totally opposite of what you're doing. And then you got to look back at your personal mission statement and say, well, that's not really part of what the plan is here. If I can find some time, I got to see what I'm doing. But technically, I don't know if I can help you with that. Now, I could sit there and be a cheerleader for you and say, yay, yay, yay. And maybe, have some other people that might collaborate with you. But at this particular time, that might not fit in my personal mission statement that I'm doing. So it does create boundaries. No is a sentence. It's okay to say no. No is a sentence, because you're not only helping yourself to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do, but you're helping others. Because if you're giving that yes, that fast yes, and you got all this stuff that's going on in your life, and you can't give 150% to that person, then that's just bad. Bad, bad, bad. I always tell people, if you can't give 150% on stuff that you're working on with other individuals because now you want to take on the world, then you just that's not going to help them at all. You trying to help somebody, you're going to hurt them. So look at what you're doing. Do your personal mission statement. You are a leader within you, and other people, like Laura said. She said this too. She dropped some good golden nuggets this morning. She also stated that people are watching, not in a crazy way like a stalker, but they're looking to see what kind of golden nuggets that's coming out of you that they can learn so they can do things in their life. You're an example for others. Even if you don't think you are, you're an example for others in a good way, in a positive way, and keep that motivation going. So with that, I'm going to leave you with what I opened up early at the beginning of the show. Because, I always have my little things that I pull. And this is from, again, I'm going to keep pushing Mary Ellen's book, because I'm just so good in for, just wisdom in this book. Please go to Amazon, buy this book. Buy Mary Ellen's book, Taking Responsibility, Unleashing True Healing. This is where I get all of my, this is not me making this up. This is Mary Ellen. I always give you credit where credit's due now. She's the one that's giving me all the good and wonderful positivities here. So talking about uniqueness, like I always say, your uniqueness is the key. It's important. Utilize all the unique skills and talents you have been blessed with, because you have been blessed with some awesome, unique skills. You will make the most of your talents when you are not afraid to show them to the world. Many people hesitate before doing this because they have been taught it is a form of boastfulness. So you got to get that out your head. Got to get that out your head. Pride. Do not deprive the world of something it desperately, desperately needs. You and your talents. They need you. They need you. There is a great deal of satisfaction to be had when you use the skills you have been blessed, again, blessed with, to the fullness extent of your ability. Okay? Come on now. You're awesome. You're amazing. Today, allow yourself to receive the recognition you so greatly, greatly deserve. So with that, that's like, you know how they say the mic has been dropped. The mic has been dropped. You are so amazing, important. And I just want to tell you that I appreciate all the support regarding this show. I was just thinking about the other day, boy, I started this show in November of last year during a pandemic and didn't know, how things was going to go. And, I just put myself out there and I said, you know what? It's time. I'm going to go to the next level and start this show because I always, no matter what, I bring awareness, education, and motivation. Those are the three main pillars of this show that I like to do. And I want to do that in all avenues and bring people in, first of all, to give them exposure, because I have my experts that come on every week. And then I have guests. I have panel guests. I have authors. I have speakers. I have influencers. In the next few weeks, I'm getting together. I put out there, I did a call casting yesterday of all U.S. vets of the armed force because I'm going to do a 3-day kind of series. Well, I hate to say series, but it's going to be basically you get to know these veterans, and then also give kind of honor because Memorial Day is coming up, and I know that's basically honoring and thinking of the fallen, fallen officers and soldiers. But I was thinking this would be a good time, especially with this world that we need. I just keep saying we need to just show the love and the healing is to bring out the vets that are still here to kind of tell their story, give a little bit of what they're doing now and just show some love to them, and I know they have probably some stories of some of soldiers that they were friends with or, dealt with where they were serving and they lost them, and we want to just give honor to that. So that's what I'm setting up now. It's going to be on May 21st. May 28th and May 31st, where I'll be ending that. So you'll be seeing some wonderful, wonderful people that have served our country and they still serve our country. And just being, here and being able to do the stories and the talks of how basically they gave their lives to serve this country. I mean, when you think about it, they really gave their life. They put their life to the side and said, I want to serve. I want to make sure we're protected in the United States. And they did it. And they took an oath and they moved forward. And I always owe and I honor them so much. So I want to, bring this show and just, let's talk to them and get them some exposure and give them some honor. So with that, you'll be seeing that in a couple weeks. Yeah, just now, really, start next week. Now I'm thinking about it. So with that, and just want to end by saying, remember, your PPD, your purpose, passion, and drive, so important in your life. I call that your foundation to move forward because when you know your purpose, when you know that passion and that drive that you have in you, then through all the earthquakes and the floods and the pandemic and everything that happens in the world, you're grounded in what you're supposed to do. So you just look at it, move on, pat yourself, push, take yourself, get yourself together and keep moving through it because you are important. And as I call the PPD, I wrap it all up in a little bow and I call it the diamond factor in you. So with that, we will see you on tomorrow. Remember, we're on every day. See you tomorrow morning, early tomorrow, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Work out the other time zones. I'll see you soon. You take care. Bye.